Hi and welcome back to my planning series, Plan With Me, this time for the month of June. I'm super excited, as always, to sit down with you and to record this video in order to give you some insights into what I have been up to in the month of May and how I'm planning to set myself up for success in the month of June. The reason why I'm recording these videos is because I want to encourage you to start a journaling practice and to start reflecting on a couple of different journaling prompts that I obviously share with you in this video. There's a whole series of Plan With Me videos on my YouTube channel, so feel free to check those ones out as well. And I have something super special for you today as well that I'm going to share with you later on in the video in order to help you even more to just be successful and better manage your time in the future as well. But I would say let's jump into the different journaling prompts for now and let's get started. The journaling prompts for the month of May are: what did you learn this month? What are you grateful for? What can you celebrate this month? How could you make more time next month for what fills your heart with happiness? Brainstorm some ideas. How did you feel physically this month? And finally, when was the last time you added something fun to your to-do list? So those are the journaling prompts for the month of May, and here are the planning prompts for the month of June. And they are: my goals for the month of June are, number 2, my self-care goal for this month is, and then finally, make sure that you don't forget to plan your month ahead. This is something that I always encourage you to do, and again, I'm going to share a little bit more about how you can get even better with regards to that in the future. All of the different journaling prompts that I'm sharing with you are based off of the Peak Performance Planner, my beautiful planner that I created for you in order to help you create new routines, be more mindful in your day-to-day life, and also set priorities. If you are curious about it, you can find it on Amazon and you find the link in the show notes below as well. So without further ado, this is all of the different journaling prompts that we're going to chat about today, and I would say let's jump into the first questions for the month of May. So the first question is, what did I learn this month? And I always love this question because I usually have to sit with it for a little while, and I realized on my travels, because I was actually traveling in Europe for 2 weeks in May, that I already have everything that I always wanted. And this is something super important for me. If you have been following me on social media and on the videos here, of course, on my YouTube channel, you know that I've been really working on my money mindset and on abundance over the last couple of months. And I think oftentimes we're getting into this mindset of lack and I don't have this yet and I don't have that yet and I wish I would have this more, and that obviously creates a lot of stress in our lives, a lot of mental stress, a lot of emotional blocks sometimes as well. And so I've been really working through a lot of those things, and with a little bit of space that I gained obviously from traveling and not being in the office and not working, was the realization I can do this. I can be traveling for 2 weeks, I can see my family, I can be pretty offline. I obviously check my emails maybe once a day for like 30 minutes just to make sure that I'm not missing anything important, but overall I was able to be fully present. I was able to obviously afford that trip. I was able to, you know, go shopping and just have like a really good experience. And I thought to myself, well, what else do I really need, right? And I think from that perspective or from that space, you can create so much more, right? When you are already happy with what you have. And I think that is the biggest learning that I had in the month of May. The second question was, what are you grateful for today? And my answer today is time to reflect, space and time. And this is something that I've been really enjoying over the last couple of days and weeks, because I think we obviously oftentimes don't create a lot of space to think and to reflect and just be present, right? To enjoy nature, to enjoy time with our partners and family members, and to really take these little micro moments to just be and to enjoy and be really present and be like, wow, this is what I'm experiencing right now. That's been so important for me, and with going on vacation and having a little bit more space to reflect, I've been really enjoying that. So I'm super grateful for that. I'm super grateful for that awareness alone, right? Because oftentimes we're not aware of that and life is just kind of passing us by. And yeah, I'm really hoping that I will be able to bring that obviously more and more into my day-to-day in the future as well. The next question is, what can I celebrate this month? And this month I'm celebrating a couple of different things. I actually celebrated my birthday a couple of days ago. And I was sick. As you can hear, I'm probably still sounding a little nasal and congested, but I'm feeling better. And I was celebrating my birthday last week kind of low-key because I was not feeling super well, and then I actually went out last night with my girlfriends, which was super fun. And that's kind of the private side of things that I've been celebrating in the month of May. And then from a business perspective, professionally, I've been celebrating the completion of my Safety 2 training, which is, if you remember, the psychological trust and safety training for teams that I have been going through over the last 5 months. And I'm super excited that I'm finally done with this. Honestly, it's always, you know, kind of a lot of added work, obviously, when you're going through these courses, but it feels really good. I feel like I learned a lot of incredibly valuable things, and I'm really excited to obviously start applying it for teams as well. So completion of that was a really big one. And then finally, another thing that I'm really celebrating this month is that I was able to work out during my vacation. This is something that I always set my intention to when I'm traveling, and then oftentimes my immune system feels kind of low, or I just don't really find the time, which is, as we all know, kind of an excuse because there's always some time you just kind of need to make room for it. And this time, when I went to Europe, I was super intentional about getting my workouts in, and I think I went in those 2 weeks in total for like 5 or 6 runs, and I did my abs routine, and that was really good, and I was really proud of myself. Unfortunately, I got sick when I got back, so I haven't really been able to work out for the last 10 days, which is a little bit of a disappointment because I was just getting back into my routine, but I'm obviously very motivated and excited to get back into it maybe in the next couple of days when I'm starting to feel a little less congested. Now then, the next question was, how could you make more time next month for what fills your heart with happiness? Brainstorm some ideas. And I think this is always a really good question, and I hope a good question for you to reflect on as well, to think about what actually makes me happy and how can I prioritize that more, right? How can you fit that more into your weekly routine or even daily routine? And there's obviously a difference between like the bigger things that you enjoy to do, like for example going on vacation, and then more the little things that you like to do that you just know make you feel like yourself, make you feel like you're a better person. That could be things like journaling or exercising, obviously, or meditation or yoga or spending time with friends. But how can you make sure that you create that space, right? That is a really important question. And for me, the things that work really well in that regard are to be really clear on obviously my priorities, and then to really plan and have a plan in place. That's why we're obviously sitting here together. That's why I'm recording these videos for you, because it is really important for me that you learn that skill. I'm not just sitting here in order to share my personal life, even though I'm happy to do that in order to show you a little bit of how I reflect on my day-to-day, but I really want to encourage you to start getting into action. That's what is going to make the biggest difference in your own life when you are starting to experiment with these things. And so yeah, that's how I am going about making sure that I have space for the things that bring me happiness. The next question was, how did you feel physically this month? And that's, I always feel like these journaling prompts come at the perfect time. So this month was a really interesting balance between kind of high highs and low lows, because As I mentioned, I'm super happy to report that I was actually able to be super active in the month of May. I had a lot of different workouts. I worked out during my vacation. I stuck to my workout routine, and then I came back and got sick. And so yeah, so it's really been this like, I've been feeling really good, and then I've been really feeling not so good, and I couldn't work out the last probably 10 days or so. But because I'm doing all of this reflection and all of this journaling, and I have been doing this for a couple of years now, there is that trust and that realization that I know I will get back into it. I know that life is a balance, and I know that life is not always how we want it to be, right? It's not always exactly how we want it to be in so many different ways. And so yeah, so I'm just kind of being patient with myself, being patient with my body, letting it heal, and then I'm gonna get back into it. And then the final question for today to reflect on the month of May was the question, when was the last time you added something fun to your to-do list? This has been a really interesting journaling prompt question for me over the last year, because I think one of my biggest realizations, honestly, is always that I'm actually really good about adding fun things to my day-to-day. This was probably not always that way, but yeah, for me, I feel like I've been obviously hyper aware of how I'm spending my time and how I create my life, and the last 2 weeks I was on vacation, so obviously that was something super fun. And now finally the summer has started in Tahoe, and we're finally able to spend more time outside again. The days are really long, and I'm really excited about summertime. Honestly, we had this huge winter in Tahoe, and I just can't wait to be outside, can't wait to be outside on the boat, spending time with friends, and just really enjoying that time of the year as well. Okay, so now that we talked about the month of May, I hope, by the way, that you paused this video, that you wrote down these different journaling prompts, and that you actually took some time to reflect on your own life. We can move into the journaling prompt questions for the month of June to prepare you and me for success in the next 30 days. And the first question is always, what are your goals, or what are my goals for the month of June? And there are always plenty, as you can imagine, after not really working for 2.5 weeks plus a couple of extra days, because honestly I wasn't feeling super well and I had to rest a little bit longer than I wanted to. And there's a lot of things that are going on, and a lot of things that I'm working on for you and for me, and I'm very excited about it, and that's what I wanted to share with you, by the way, as well. So I'm going to share 2 goals with you, 2 things that I have already set up over the last couple of days at the beginning of June. It's 2 new formats to engage with you. So number 1 is something called Plan Your Week with Julia. So you know that these are your Plan With Me videos, but on top of that, I really want to help you create space and intention on how you're spending your week. So I created a new format and a new registration link that you can find in the show notes below, and you can sign up for free for my Plan Your Week with Julia sessions. Every Monday at 8 a.m. PST, I'm going live on a Zoom call, and I'm helping you to be super intentional about how you are planning and creating your week. I'm doing this because this is one of the biggest challenges I see you and my clients have on a regular basis. They have difficulty to prioritize, they have difficulty to create space for the things that fill them with happiness, for example. And so I'm super excited to run that. I have already had the first one this week on Monday, and we had a lot of people being present, and we are going through different, obviously step-by-step exercises in order to help you really take action in these 30 minutes to really plan your week. It's about accountability, it's about commitment, and it's about having the space to also ask questions when you are having challenges, when you don't really know how to move forward. And I would really like to invite you to that. So come by, say hi, be with us for the Plan Your Week with Julia sessions, and yeah, I would really love to see you there. The second thing that I also want to mention here is something also super exciting. It's something called Conversations with Julia, and these are a new podcast format that I'm super excited to share with you. And the way of how this works is I would like to invite you to my live podcast recordings. And how this is going to work is you can suggest topics that you want me to talk about. Let's say, for example, how to stop overthinking. And in the first 25 to 30 minutes, I'm going to go with you in that live podcast recording, obviously through a couple of different steps that you can do to stop overthinking. But then at the end, you have 20 to 30 minutes of space to talk to me about it, to talk with me about what you have experienced, how you can obviously create new habits for yourself, for example, or the things that you have tried out and haven't worked for you. And I'm really excited to create those conversations with you. So again, if you are curious to join these with me, and they probably happen once or twice a month, I would love for you to register for them. You will find the link in the show notes as well. And yeah, and you can just express interest, and then hopefully I will see you there in the future. Okay, so those are 2 of my goals that I have for the month of June. There are a few more on my list, and honestly, I'm not sure if it's super realistic, because there's a lot of things going on in the month of June, and I'm very excited about it, and at the same time still managing my energy a little bit, that we will see what happens. But here's my self-care goal for the month of June. I'm actually trying to lose some weight, yes. I've been indulging in May, and I've been kind of working on that. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you're turning, you're getting older and you're going towards your late 30s, and it's not as easy anymore to lose weight for some reason. I've been eating a ton of sugar. As you know, I love sugar, and so one of my biggest goals is to lose a couple of pounds and to have a no sugar month. And I will let you know how that goes. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. You know that the final step is always to plan your week ahead and plan your month ahead. So make sure that you are really thinking about when are you going to work on the projects that you have identified in the first question here, right, in the goals question, and then break it down into achievable chunks to make sure that you're actually making progress on these goals on a weekly basis, and you know exactly when you're going to work on it. This always really helps me to kind of keep a cool mind, because sometimes it can be super overwhelming to just look at the list of things that you're trying to achieve and to just feel super overwhelmed and stressed because you're like, I don't know when I'm going to do this. But there's something, at least for me, please try it out and let me know if this is the same for you, to just like put that on my calendar and know every day I know when I'm going to work on these things. It's not like, right, because otherwise you're sitting there and you feel like, oh, today, what am I gonna do today, right? And you have all of these things on your mind and you don't really know where to start. And then you probably don't start at all. So for me, this is a super important exercise. I do this every single month, and I do it mostly every single week now for sure, because I'm going to do it with you in the Plan Your Week with Julia sessions. But this has really helped me to make a lot of progress over the last 4.5 years since I started this business. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so very much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Take care and talk to you soon.